Secretary will call the roll.
Alquist, Anderson, Berryhill, Blakesley, Calderon, Canella, Corbett, Correa, De Leon, DeSaulnier, Dutton, Emerson, Evans, Fuller, Gaines, Hancock, Harmon, Hernandez, Huff, Kehoe, Lamafa, Leno, Liu, Lowenthal, Negrete McLeod, Padilla, Pavley, Price, Rubio, Smidian, Steinberg, Strickland, Vargas, Walters, Wolk, Wright, Weiland, Yee. Mr. President, would the acting call?
Sergeants, call the phantom. Round them up. The quorum is present. Will the members and our guests beyond the rail and in the gallery please rise? We will be led in prayer this morning by our guest chaplain, Senator Rod Wright, after which please remain standing and will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Senator Emerson.
I'm actually putting these on so that I can look more studious. Members and guests, this morning we are looking forward to the annual celebration of life for the American civil rights leader, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Dr. King was born in Atlanta on January 15, 1929. He championed a reform movement for just a period of over 12 years. He was assassinated on April 4, 1968, in Memphis, Tennessee. He was married to Coretta Scott, and together they had 4 children. He was the second African American and the youngest winner of the Nobel Prize in 1964, the first being UCLA alumnus Dr. Ralph Bunche in 1950. Dr. Bunche, by the way, attended Thomas Jefferson High School in South Central Los Angeles. Most of Dr. King's many accomplishments can be found in history books and online. There's not much that can be said about Dr. King that has not been said 1,000 times. Last year, we focused on what he considered his most important work, that of being a Baptist minister doing God's will. His civil rights work was very much a part of his ministry. His heart would be heavy today as we mourn the lives of the people in Arizona and the carnage that took place there. As a disciple of peaceful protest and the Christian faith, he would be praying for all the victims, including the perpetrator in that incident. Last year, we studied the correlation between Dr. King and Moses, specifically Deuteronomy 34 and the saga of going to the mountaintop. This morning, I would like to briefly draw another parallel. Today in our political discourse, we overuse two words, reform and protest. Dr. King was named for the German monk Martin Luther, known as the father of the Protestant Church and the Christian Reformation movement, which are derived from reform and protest. Martin Luther's 95 thesis, which was posted on the Castle Church door in Wittenberg, Germany on October 31st, 1517, in protest, was the beginning of the Protestant Church. Martin Luther was the first person to translate the Bible into a language other than Latin when he did it in German. Remember again, Dr. King was a Protestant minister. Students of Dr. King's work often draw a parallel between Martin Luther's 95 thesis and Dr. King's letter from a Birmingham jail dated April 16, 1963. Dr. King was jailed in Birmingham because he was protesting Jim Crow laws in the Alabama city. Specifically, they were seeking reform from the policies of the notorious segregationist Bull Connor. The letter from a Birmingham jail is regarded by many scholars as the finest piece of advocacy protest writing ever done. Ironically, it was written to clergymen who were concerned that the need for protest and the speed for reform. Two of my favorite quotes by Dr. King come from this letter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And we should never forget that Adolf Hitler, everything he did in Nazi Germany was legal, and everything the Hungarian freedom fighters did in Hungary was illegal. It was illegal to aid and comfort a Jew in Hitler's Germany. Even so, I'm sure had I lived in Germany at that time, I would have aided and comforted my Jewish brothers. If you've not already done so, I would recommend everyone read a letter from a Birmingham jail. Dr. King would have been 82 years old this year. We wish him a happy birthday. Members, as we grapple with our budget and the future of our beloved California, I'd like to go back to basics. In the New Testament book of Matthew, when the disciples were asking how they should pray, Jesus responded, and you can join in. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory. Amen. Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good job.
Privileges of the floor. Messages from the governor will be deemed read. Messages from the assembly will be deemed read. Committee reports will be deemed read. Any motions, resolutions, or notices? Introduction and first reading of bills. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 109 by Senator Gaines, enacting to vote by mail elections and declaring the urge thereof to take effect immediately.
Okay, we have no items to be taken up today. If there's no other business, Senator Harmon, the desk is clear.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, the Senate will be in recess until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made. We will reconvene on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Tuesday, January 18th, will be a check-in session. All members should check in with the Sergeant at Arms.
No further business. We are adjourned.